Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and welcome back for another episode of Stamp With Me, which is a fun collaboration with a ton of crafty YouTubers, and we post twice a month with different ways you can use your stamps on your projects. So today I'm actually really proud of how this layout turned out, and I'm going to tell you guys right now 5 different stamp sets were used on this layout, which is a lot for me, and I think it'll be interesting to see them all come together, so hopefully you guys enjoy this process. I'm starting off with a background from Simple Stories and then some paper layers from Carta as well as Fiskars Craft. So I'm kind of partially working with my How to Kill a Kit with Style for this particular page, but it does come together rather nicely, and I did originally go with these lighter toned colors. That first piece that I showed you had some pastels on it, kind of has a neutral base with that white creamish color as the main color. Then I move into the secondary red, which has a special finish to the little icons on it, like a glossy finish, so it adds just a nice texture. And then I end with that green, which is a playfield book, you know, X's and O's, drawing lines, that kind of thing. And that is my main layer for this photo. This is a photo of my niece, and these are photos I took of her for her senior year of lacrosse, so kind of some senior portraits throughout the year, and we did a ton for her jersey number, which she had from like her first, you know, lacrosse camp and then onward. So it's nice to have those 2 jerseys. And I really liked this one, so I pulled this one out to make a layout about. And you did see me there using my Distress ink to ink the edges of this to kind of give it a rough and tough look, because we have this nice polka dot background, but then we also have this, you know, she's looking fierce and strong, and that kind of synonymously does not go with polka dots, but in this case it can, because I said so. And here's where I start pulling out the stamp. So I do have this background stamp that I purchased back in February and still hadn't used, and it's from Fiskars Craft, and it's just this nice light grid. And what I really like about it is it's thin lines, so it's not overwhelming, it's not too thick, it's not too large either. I find some large stamps to be very difficult to work with, and this one's rather small, and you can repeat it to get a bigger background, but I'm just going to use this ink right here, which is my go-to. My VersaFine is definitely my go-to black ink for everyday stamping. And you'll see I stamp this in a multitude of places, so it kind of sticks out from my photo and gives it texture. And I don't know if you guys remember Magic Mesh, but I still have some of that in my stash, and I could have used that as well. But this is a great way to get texture, or the look of texture, without the depth and, you know, the fussing around with texture that sometimes you can get. So an easy way to add texture is through stamping. So once I was done stamping with that one, I took it off camera and cleaned it off with my stamp chamois and put it away. It kind of gave me a little bit of trouble because it was a brand new stamp set, so the plastic's a little bit harder to get off, but made it work. And now I start bringing in some of these embellishments, which these are some American Crafts words from a thicker set, and there's also stars. And while I didn't think this would be the original title, I do like that I use this as the title, because just because your theme is evident in your photos doesn't mean the theme has to be evident in the title. So it could say lacrosse or, you know, something about sports, but it doesn't necessarily have to. And I think that's important to note, that sometimes these pre-made titles are, you know, making the work easier for us, but it's also, you can add to them, which I've done multiple videos on before. You can always add extra words. It could say, you're so awesome, you're an awesome kid, you're an awesome niece. You know, you could add other things. You're an awesome player. Just expanding on that might give you more options, and maybe that's something you're looking into doing on your next layout. Here's where I had the great idea of using this wonderful stamp trophy that's meant for like Father's Day cards, or, you know, just nice appreciation cards. And I found this scrap in my recycling bin, which is actually the cover to a Studio Calico paper pad. And essentially I tried to use my StazOn because it's a slicker surface, and my StazOn is completely dried up, which is kind of a bummer, but I think moving with it, it probably suffered quite a bit of damage sitting in some hot vehicles, just evaporating away, and that's definitely my fault for not taking care of it, but definitely going to have to look into buying a new one or a re-inker or whatever's easily available. So I revisit this idea of a trophy and originally go for this star paper, which is from a great company called Pattern Happy. I will have them and every other product linked down below in case you guys are interested in checking it out. Now, I wish I did end up using this star version, and I am going to trim this off camera, but I actually hated it. It was just too busy, and I didn't want to introduce another color, and I didn't want to use another pattern paper that matched these ones. So what I ended up doing was just flipping it over I cut it out using my X-Acto knife on the inside parts and called it a day, because sometimes it's the thought that counts, and I am counting that as a stamp because I wouldn't have gotten that shape nicely otherwise if it wasn't stamped to begin with. Now that I'm happy with my placement of the photo in the middle and then the title and then a little embellishment cluster on the top, which I think is a really, really interesting type of layout design. So essentially you can kind of create these compartments for your layout. So it's going to be embellishments, title, photo, journaling, etc. You know, you can really make it this sort of grid or loose stacked style, which I've really been loving lately. And here's where I bring in another stamp set. This is an old Click Kits stamp set, or is it Citrus Twist? Scraptastic, yes, very old. So some Scraptastic ones, and it says right here, right now, which I thought was really cute. And then I bring in a Wild Whisper stamp set, and again, guys, lots and lots of stamping. And since it is a lot of stamping, it is sped up quite a bit, but I do hope you guys are still enjoying the ideas, and you'll see the close-ups at the end to see the stamping up close. But sometimes you have stamps that you don't want the entire thing of, and in this case there was a word I didn't want. I didn't want the word survivor on there. So what I ended up doing is just putting a post-it note onto it after I inked it. That's the key here. You want to put the post-it note on after you ink it. So although I selectively inked it, sometimes the ink gets onto the pieces you don't want, and you just have to cover it up before you bring it to your page. So it says strong, brave, and fierce, and again, that's from Wild Whisper. And I will be sure to link that down below because I am all about supporting those small businesses and shouting them out when I can. So here's where I start thinking about this trophy, because I don't want to leave it blank. I want it to be meaningful. So I look through a bunch of alphabet stamp sets to try to find one that has numbers in it that are large enough to fit this space. And lo and behold, Wild Whisper was the answer again. So this is their capital letter stamp set, and it has numbers in it, which again, great investment for your money. I adore these stamp sets. They have two that I have that are font and number sets, and they just come in so handy for so many things. And then, so it didn't look like she came in 13th place, I put the pound sign in front of it, which is from an Ink Blot Shop stamp set, just a really, really tall one. And I did test it on the other side first because, as you saw when I stamped Strong, Brave, Fierce, which was a new stamp in that stamp set, I hadn't stamped it before, it did give a little bit of blotchiness that I should have tested first. So I just took a marker from Ranger and filled in the rest, which is a quick way to fix what some people call stamping mistakes, but I call stamping mishaps, because it all happens to the best of us, and it's easy to fix. You just fill it in with a color that fits the ink that you picked out, whether it's black or white or brown, you know, lots of choices. But I will be sure to link everyone else that's participating in the Stamp With Me episode this month down below, and hopefully you guys can check out the Stamp With Me playlist I have linked down below in case you've missed later episodes, or I guess earlier episodes, and you want to catch up. And because I've been on a washi tape hiatus lately, I thought I'd bring it back. It's been a while. You know, it's been like 2 layouts since I've used washi tape, so I had to bring it back. And you'll also see me using a bunch of clear stickers, which are from Simple Stories Life in Color, which is the same collection that the background paper is from. So as I go through here, I'm counting my stamp sets, I'm looking at embellishments, what else do I want? Again, I used a ton of these Simple Stories sets. Just the clear stickers with black ink on them are so simple for me to use on these contrasty layouts. So red and green are typically seen as Christmas colors, but here we go, evidence and proof that they don't necessarily have to be. And I think having the black and white being also a very, very integrated part really, really works. Luckily, I kept sifting through my stash to see what else I could pull out, and I did find this little jersey sticker from Simple Stories, again, just a different collection, and I pulled that out. So this is the Little Dude collection, and it had some really funny phrases that I think she will find very hilarious. I think my favorite one says, "Not bragging, just swagging," and she's gonna laugh because it's so embarrassing for her, you know. You know how teenagers are. But I think these are so cute, and I did want to add some of them onto the clusters that I was creating. And again, giving that high contrast can work really, really well for these types of compelling layouts that are supposed to be like rough and tough and bold. And this style layout could work for so many different occasions, and I encourage you guys to try this style on your boy pages. It'll definitely work out really, really well. Or anything that you think would be, you know, powerful to have this kind of contrasting color scheme with it. But I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me use so many stamp sets. We had the background stamping, the words, the numbers, the backwards stamping, if you will, for that trophy that we cut out and then used the reverse side of. But Here I'm just going to add a paper clip as one of my final elements, and then I come back with my Nuvo drops. It's been a while, but I do bring those back in and start using my black Nuvo drops again. And I really do put them all over the page. I think it's just adds another fun detail, and while there are polka dots, this adds another more dainty touch to just sprinkle these around in smaller sizes and helps move your eye around the page. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're interested in more crafty content, or if you're interested to turn on the post notification bell so you guys are notified every time I upload. But here are some close-ups of the finished product. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out everyone and all of the links down below so you guys can have more stamping and more great stamping products in your life. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye, guys.